Well, good morning, North Canton. Mayor Wilder here. Uh, Today, I'd like to continue with some city updates and community updates that are occurring in the city today. First of all, I want to thank everyone for your continued support and compliance with the public health and safety guidelines and recommendations that have been from this office and from the Ohio Department of Health and our Governor DeWine's office. It means a whole lot to us in maintaining our safe community to the best that we can be during this tenuous time. Just want to jump right into some things on for engineering up at North Main Street and Apple Grove intersection. The base has been replaced, and that the final top coat of asphalt will be forthcoming. But the big thing is, I want to thank everybody for your patience in during that project. They got it done in about a week time, and that your patience helped protect the workers and our police officers up there. And so you're going to see some final improvements with that intersection eventually. So again, thank you very much for your patience, and especially the small businesses up there that may have been disrupted. But with the low activity of traffic, they were able to get that done in a timely manner. So good with that. Something else over in the sanctuary, the milling and repaving is going on schedule, and that should be done hopefully within the week. Now, Kimball was not able to pick up some of the recyclables yesterday because of the repaving of the streets, but just hold on to those till next week, and I'm sure they'll be able to pick them up. And while I mentioned Kimball, I'd like to share something from them. I received a letter from them, and it goes that all their employees want to thank us for all our support and cooperation with their service requests as they manage through their COVID-19 situation. Now their drivers will be able to pick up all items placed at the curb that you have been accumulating over the last few weeks. And so they're cautiously optimistic they'll be able to return to normal operations. Well, they did resume really normal operations starting this Monday, April the 27th. And their customers who have cooperated, I want to thank you all. And so any materials that you've been accumulating over time, some of the bulk items, you can put them out by the curb. Those items that were held from the previous limitation requests will be collected at no additional cost. Again, just over the next 2 or 3 weeks, if you want to meter that stuff out for their collection, that would help also. But we certainly helped to reduce the sudden impact of the waste disposal. So again, thank you to our citizens for complying with their request, and normal service is back and starting. Over in the sanctuary, again, the milling and repaving has taken place on schedule, so that's good. Over in by Pineview and Northfield Southwest, the curb and gutter and the drainage project is on schedule and continues uninterrupted. Again, motorists, residents that live in that area, just be careful around the construction zones and for the workers there. Something new started over in New England and Red Coach, Sturbridge Village. There's going to be some milling of the streets there. That should be starting today, and repaving project will be continuing over there for the next few days. So those streets will be being repaved. Just a heads up for Monday, May 4th, the milling and grinding of Apple Grove Street, starting from Marquardt going west to North Main Street will begin. Again, depending on the weather, I'm pretty sure it's going to be going westbound. And so it'll take a couple of weeks up there for the milling of that, the top coat there, and then the refinishing of repaved Grove. And that's going to be all 4 lanes, east and west. So you may want to look at an alternate travel route on Monday. Just make sure that you give protection to our workers up there, especially from the residents that are coming out of the side streets up and off of Radford and Wilbur in that area, and of course from the sanctuary. So just be safe in those areas, but just give you a heads up, there's going to be work on Apple Grove for the next few weeks on that. If you notice on Portage, the catch basins have been replaced. I think we're doing about 20, 25 of those. They're going very well. I've gone through there many times. Again, motorists are complying with the directions of the service workers up there, so that work is going well. had a conversation with Mr. Wheeler from the YMCA. He would like me to remind our public that the Child Development Center is still available. They have secured a pandemic child care license, and they can accommodate up to 60 children for daycare, I believe, Monday through Friday. And right now they have about 45. So if you're looking for extended child care, I know that's an issue for many of our residents. There is some openings there. So kind of wanted to jump down to what is happening in Stark County and really in North Canton. As according to the 28th of March, or excuse me, 28th of April, I just looked it up. The Stark County cases, there's 324 cases of COVID-19, 77 hospitalizations, and unfortunately 36 deaths. I've been double checking with our emergency services, and we've been very fortunate here in North Canton that we've had minimal instances of contact with COVID-19 confirmations. So thank you for the residents of maintaining your physical distancing and practicing the hygiene guidelines and orders that we have in place. So we're very fortunate here. I want to continue with that our residents can remain safe and secure and help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Just a couple of things there. I know with Governor DeWine's announcements yesterday and on Monday, just wanted to touch base some of the things that he talked about coming up on May 1st. Again, medical necessary procedures that do not require an overnight stay in a healthcare facility or do not require inpatient hospital admission and minimizes use of personal protective equipment may move forward. Again, these include regular doctor visits, well care checks, well baby visits, outpatient surgeries, imaging procedures, and diagnostic tests, and dental services and veterinary services may also proceed in a safe environment that can be established. On May 4th, he's outlined that manufacturing, distribution, and construction businesses may reopen. These businesses can meet mandatory safety requirements for customers and employees, and additionally, general office environments may open if they can also meet mandatory safety requirements. Again, all encouraging for us. On May 12th, he's outlined consumer retail services may reopen if these businesses can meet mandatory safety requirements for customers and employees. And all businesses must follow the general safe practices as they reopen. Again, those include requiring or requesting face coverings for all employees and recommending them for clients and customers at all times, conducting daily health assessments or self-evaluation of employees. Maintaining good hygiene and social distancing, cleaning and sanitizing your workplaces, and again, limiting capacity to meet social guidelines. I call it physical distancing guidelines. Schools and daycares, dining restaurants, beauty businesses, older adult daycare and senior citizens, adult day support or vocational rehabilitation services in group settings, entertainment, recreation and gyms are all ordered to remain closed due to the increased risk of COVID-19 exposure. He went on and further said that because of the danger of the COVID-19 still exists, Ohio stay-at-home order will remain in effect to encourage Ohioans to continue making reasonable and rational decisions about leaving home. And large gatherings of more than 10 people are still prohibited. If you want to go into the check through the Ohio Department of Health Development Services Agency, there's a nice form about continued closures as requested by during the COVID-19 issue, the continued orders or closures. Real quick, the following businesses and operations remain closed per existing stay-at-home orders unless a variance is granted or until related orders are amended or rescinded. Again, K through 12 schools and daycares, restaurants and bars, Just carry out and delivery services are permitted. Personal appearance and beauty services includes hair salons, day spas, nail salons, barber shops, tattoo parlors, body piercing locations, tanning facilities, and massage therapy locations and similar businesses remain closed. Older adult daycare services and senior centers, adult day support or vocational habilitation services and congregate settings, rooming and boarding houses and workers' camps, entertainment, recreation, and gymnasium sites are still closed. And that includes, but not as limited to, all places of public amusement, whether indoors or outdoors, such as large tag facilities, or laser tag facilities, roller skating rinks, ice skating rinks, arcades, indoor miniature golf facilities, bowling alleys, indoor trampoline parks, indoor water parks, arcades, and adult and skill or chance game facilities remain closed. Gambling industries are closed. Auditoriums, stadiums, and arenas, movie theaters, performance theaters, and concert and music halls. I received something from Cinemark the other day about their theaters being closed through their corporate directions. Public recreation centers and indoor sports facilities. Parades, fairs, festivals, and carnivals. Amusement parks, theme parks, outdoor water parks, children play. Our centers, our playgrounds remain closed, and funplexes. Aquariums, zoos, and historical sites in similar situations, and country club and social clubs. Spectator sports, recreational sports tournaments, and organized recreational sports leagues are suspended or closed. Health clubs, fitness centers, workout facilities, gyms, and yoga studios. Swimming pools, whether public or private, except for swimming pools on single-family households. Residential and day camps and campgrounds, including recreational camps and recreational RV parks. And there's some exclusions there. Just so you know, for our Arrowhead Country Club remains open at this time. Single cart occupancy are being requested. However, if you live under the same roof, you would be permitted to have two in a cart. There again, that could be husband and wife, father, son, daughter, mother, daughter, something like that. But you got to show that you live under the same roof. And so we're asking that. Those are being cleaned by not only the patrons, but also by the staff at the country club. So that's still open. I know the grill is open, but the banquet facility remains closed. Our pools are closed right now, and however, they are on a maintenance schedule. So there's needs that still need to be taken there to preserve their use if that opportunity comes to fruition in the future. Something else on the governor's website is he diagrammed yesterday some things about Responsible Start Ohio. You'll see some handouts such as these. Oops, sorry. And those are printable. You can go online and find those, but it's called Responsible Restart Ohio. Gives the guidelines for manufacturing, distribution, and construction, consumer, retail services, and also just general office environments. It addresses employees and guests, workstations, and other criteria that will help you get back into a position of doing business and being open for business. There's also a good information called Responsible Protocols, COVID-19, that you can download off of the website also. And it talks about the 5 protocols for business. Again, it may say no mask, but according to the governor, again, that's been relaxed. It's highly recommended or strongly recommended to wear a facial covering as you go about, either in the public or in your place of business. Again, our federal government has the guideline for opening up America. Again, that guideline is available for you. And there's another one here through the responsible protocols If you go to ohio.gov, here's again another form for protocols for businesses. And remember, we're asking people to use facial coverings as much as possible when you're coming in contact with the public. As I look back on things and listening to the governor and some of his guidance and things trying to get us in the right way, I think of where we are now, where do we want to go, and how do we get there? And those are the kind of questions I've been thinking about as we traverse this and navigate this thing. And folks, there's going to be some tough decisions to make for the future for us. And I look at this as how do we minimize the risk of any of us contracting the COVID-19 disease. And I have some tough decisions I'll be making, hopefully on behalf of the betterment of our community and the health and safety and welfare. And I plan on doing those either this Friday or Monday, probably issuing a mayor's directive. And it's going to be focused on this. There's a lot of questions, and the governor has been addressing it, about large gatherings. And I know that is still out there for discussion. And back in March, I tried to get out in front of it just as much as the governor did in closing some operations here for the city. City Hall, Dogwood Shelter, for example, the Civic Center. We continue here with remote work as much as possible. We're doing our telecommunications through for our public meetings, for city council, and other group settings that requires the city to be open to the public for. In regarding to opening public spaces, I'm very concerned about that. And opening public spaces to me might entail an increased risk of community transmission of the COVID-19. And certain populations will be more at risk for serious consequences and the mortality from contracting that disease. So the decisions that will be coming down from this office and the administration will no doubt receive criticism from the public, and I understand that. But if we're thinking about the seriousness of this disease, and we want to try to do the best that we can in reducing the spread of the coronavirus, it's going to take some actions and cooperation from all of us, that some of our activities for the summer that we planned on may be curtailed. And we're going to have to find other ways to be creative and to enjoy indoor and outdoor activities. What weighs most on my mind is, how do we guarantee the safety of each one of us, our children, or those that are deemed vulnerable to this COVID-19. So in the next few days, as I continue reaching out to some of our community leaders and some of our organizations within the city and working with them and being in conversation with mayors throughout Northeast Ohio, that at one point we're actually farther ahead than some of those other mayors in thinking about how can we best protect the community in large. This will be a temporary, hopefully it'll be a temporary time for us to deal with this COVID-19 issue, but I just want to give you a heads up. And I've kind of alluded to that through a number of these live streams, that we need to be prepared for how best can we handle now, but also for the future, and maintain the health and safety of each and every one of us. So I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation as we go through this and navigate this disease and this illness. And, uh, and we're going to hope for the best. Again, I'm optimistic. However, these might be some really tough steps that we're going to have to take to get to a point where we can get back to a sense of normalcy. And I know how it's going to affect youth and adults, our employees, our businesses in more ways than one. So all I can say is thank you for your time and cooperation. I wish you all to stay safe and keep well. Thank you.